Carrefour has recently had problems with its hypermarket performance. And due to this, its overall net income has declined over the past years. In order to deal with this problem, Carrefour France decides to work with expert consultants, and to run a pilot market in Nice to implement new strategies.
In response to a loss of market share and declining sales, Carrefour France has worked hard in the last few years to decentralize and refocus our core values. While recent numbers show progress, we need that extra nudge to push us from good to great in the areas of employee and customer satisfaction and supply chain management. So, we enlisted the help of a highly experienced, top-notch consulting team to help us focus on propelling the Carrefour France hypermarkets in France to the next level.
After the challenge to support France's largest retailer, we worked hard to build a team of skilled experts from HR to merchandising, supply chain to finance and IT. Prior to meeting the clients, we knew from past experience that our success hinged on how successful we would be at building trust, establishing relationships, and fostering a creative work environment with our client team. To accomplish this, we started out first by meeting paired off with our departmental counterparts and getting to know one another. After building rapport, the agenda was clear. We started by identifying obstacles which were not as easy to spot out initially. A critical tool in this exercise was a linkage map helping to show clients the interconnectivity of various obstacles. The tool was very effective in that it allowed for an overview of processes across key departmental areas. Following the identification phase, the client's team and the consultant team had sufficient basis to come up with an action plan.
If there had been any doubt, our Carrefour client team knew we had hired the right consultant team upon walking into the fun-filled, colorful, creativity-inspired hothouse on day 2. With issues identified, we were now in solution mode. Colors were assigned to each department. Color-coded balloons marked posters that had been created for each department and listed its previously identified issues. We were given sticky notes and all asked to brainstorm possible solutions to all issues. No solutions were rejected, and often many were built upon by other team members. Once a topic was exhausted, we voted with our color-coded stars and minuses to show which ideas were in the best interest of each department. The ideas with the most positive stars and the least negative minuses were selected. It is impressive to note how interconnected our issues are and how we now believe a few solutions can solve many issues.
To sustain the work dynamic and allow both clients and consultants to step back and reflect on their actions, we incorporated regular breaks with enough room for thought and improvement proposals. As is usual with many of our projects, we decided to include into the big picture various stakeholders who could lend a new perspective to our solutions. We brought in 3 Carrefour employees from the identified hypermarket location TNL in Nice, France. Amongst the selected were a cashier, a fish counter representative, and a non-food manager. With their input, our teams were able to come up with experiments that would test the KPIs to determine the effectiveness of our proposed solutions prior to rolling out the solutions nationwide.
Hi Rani, how are you?
Hi Filippo, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Thank you for coming today.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
I appreciate it, and as you know, I wanted to discuss some Carrefour financial issues with you.
Yeah.
You know that Carrefour is still the leading retailer in France in terms of turnover, but even though we have a huge operating income and good net income, we are down globally 19% in terms of operating income, and in terms of net income we are down nearly 15%. And all of this is because of a negative impact of the French hypermarket. We also have seen a 0.1% drop in the underlying first quarter sales due to once again the weakness in core French hypermarkets. So how do you think Carrefour can improve the hypermarket performance in the French markets?
Yeah, actually, we are here just to help you in this problem because we can actually make a lot of analysis and we can see there is an operational issue in the hypermarket and also there is a different consumer expenditure because they don't spend too much on non-food item right now. So we want actually help you with the new project and we want to implement this project with you to maximize actually the profit in the hypermarket section.
Can you share a high-level action plan of this project? Maximize profit?
Yeah, we mainly, this is a briefly overview, of course, of the project. Mm-hmm. And we want to divide the project in 3 sub-projects, and this is mainly in focus on customer, on human resource, and on the supply chain.
Okay. So what are the financial benefits that you might be promoting in terms of these steps?
Yeah, for the customer, for example, we want to increase the customer satisfaction, and this is strictly correlated with the increase in sales. Then for the human resource department, we want to actually increase the retention rate and the productivity. And for the supply chain, we want to reduce the cost.
So can you please elucidate on these steps?
Yeah, for the side, for the project of customer, we want to reduce the average checkout time, and we want to increase the number of clients through loyalty card and the promotion. Okay. For the human resource product, we want to increase the training and the benefit of the employee, and also we want to increase the contest and challenging between the different hypermarket. Okay. And then for the product of supply chain, we want to reduce the inventory, increase the automation, and use a waste management policy.
Okay, so I really like your idea of an additional revenue stream using the waste management policies. So as a financial manager, I'm more bothered about the increase in revenue and also the costs. So can you please, do you have some numbers for that?
Yeah, sure. We made a lot of analysis and we come up with a strong number actually because we made this assumption that the number is close to 9 million euros increase in revenue, and with an investment on 4.5. So actually, as you can see, there is a benefit of 4.5 million.
So can you please give a breakdown of this 4.5 million?
Sure. There is actually, like in the supply chain, there is a benefit of 1.2 roughly. Then there is an increase due to the client satisfaction, so the client project of 3 million, more or less. And then there is a human resource that is increased just 0.3 million, but this is all the benefit of human resources correlated to the client.
Completely agree with the indirect effect of the human resource benefits. So can you please share the benefit case analysis for this?
Yeah, we make top-down benefit case analysis actually, and we use 2 scenarios. So we use the worst and the best case scenario, and we use the business drivers, so the main KPI to go through all the benefit. And as you can see, there is a total is between 4 million to 10 million. But then, to go to all the detail, next week we have another meeting with all the experts. So all the experts in this different project, we have a meeting, then we go directly in the detail, more detail.
So we are meeting next week again with the individual experts?
Yeah, exactly.
That's great, Filippo.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, thank you too.
It was a pleasure.
Through our initial market survey in our client premises, we realized a low customer satisfaction, particularly in the area of checkout time, staff customer engagement, and online shopping. Delay in checkouts is the one of major issues that created most complaints from customers. The immediate challenge the team faced was to reduce the time customers spent at the checkout counters. In order to deal with this challenge, the consulting team has come up with 3 following experiments. 1 handheld scanners at the trolleys for customers for faster checkouts. Customers can check in items they wish to purchase by using the barcode scanner that is attached to their trolleys, and hence the payment at the checkout counters becomes faster. setting pay in advance or money deposit schemes and separate counter for those customers. The payment becomes faster, and since there is a specially designated counter for those customers, there will be less traffic at the other checkout counters. Finally, creating a shopping online app based on the gamification concept to encourage customers to make their shopping online. By using the app to shop online, customers could accumulate points and then instantly redeem those points to receive discounts. By conducting the experiments for 3 months, we were able to reduce the average checkout time by 47% from 15 minutes to 8 minutes. In addition, our shopping app became a success story, and it was adopted by most of Carrefour hypermarkets in France. Another two challenge we faced while dealing with customer relations is that there was no clear way to quantify the level of customer satisfaction in the hypermarkets. There was lack of customer intelligence, and the response time for customer complaints were longer than the industry average. Currently, customers can file up their complaints through Carrefour official website or customer hotline. Those complaints are stored at the headquarters level and sent to the respective stores monthly. Another related issue we had struggled through our initial questionnaire with customers was the negative experience with some cashiers. We have noticed that there was a lack of positive interaction between the customer and some of the cashiers. The consultant team came up with the idea of having staff and hypermarket evaluation system installed at each checkout counter so that customers can instantly in real time evaluate staff performance and their experience at the premises. In case of dissatisfaction, the store manager can instantly inquire the customers what went wrong and how to improve in the future for the better service. The response will be much quicker than before, and it is expected that the customer satisfaction will increase in return, and the staff will be more attentive to provide a positive experience to the customers. To creating a more positive experience to the customer overall, we can also expect an increase in the number of customers up to 20%. Again, through conducting the experiment for 3 months, we were able to increase the average customer per day by 10% from 6,000 to 6,600, and the monthly complaints were reduced from 300 to 240 complaints. Ideally, in the long run, from those initiatives, we will be able to increase our yearly profit by 3.2 million euros. By the end of the experiments, we have conducted on-spot customer feedback survey to assess our new initiatives. From 20 people we have interviewed at the end of their shopping experience, 17 noticed and appreciated the positive changes in the hypermarket.
I love the customer feedback package at the checkout counter. It makes me feel that I am valued here.
I was always getting irritated by waiting long time in the checkout. Now it is much quicker and I am very pleased with it.
Carrefour is mechanizing its warehouse worldwide. We too are in process. We were struggling to identify our bottlenecks. Along with consultants, we identified that uneven size of pallets and cartons was causing us to use more manpower and it was time consuming. So we decided to standardize our pallets. Our technical teams came up with 2 sizes of pallets and 4 sizes of cartons to be used in our warehouse. We communicated these changes to our suppliers. They asked for up to 4 months to comply with our new standards. All new suppliers were informed about our standard size of cartons and pallets. We separated odd-size pallets and cartons from our warehouse. Today, after 6 months, we have fully automated our warehouse and we saved cost in terms of manpower and material handling. Annually, we are able to save 160,000 with minimum efforts. We have lots of spillage, especially perishable food items like fruits, vegetables, milk products, etc. And industry average is 10% and our average is more than that. We are trying very hard to reduce it. However, whatever we waste is costing us in terms of money. So we thought of composting it, a cheap and simple technology to recover the cost of our spillage. Even today, we buy compost soil and sell it in different brands. So our idea was to produce our own compost from spillage and other biodegradable waste, package it, brand it, and sell it. We were successful, and now we are planning to collaborate with other carrefours in the area and take it to industrial scale. And in this way we have recovered our cost of our spillage.
As experienced organizational development consultants, we've seen time after time that retail companies with happy, well-supported employees reap a number of meaningful benefits. First, let's consider some statistics at our pilot hypermart, Carrefour TNL in Nice. This hypermart employs 250 employees, with an employee turnover rate averaging 30% for each of the past. That means about 75 employees each year leave the company, and their positions need to be refilled. The cost to hire a new employee, including placement agency fees, training costs, and other hiring overhead, is about 13,000 euros, totaling about 1 million euros per year in hiring costs alone at this single store. 70% of retail employee turnover is directly attributable to low employee satisfaction. So a 10% increase in employee satisfaction decreases employee turnover by 2%, saving about 65,000 euro per year. A satisfied employee is also about 20% more productive than a dissatisfied employee, which means that a 10% increase in employee satisfaction decreases store headcount requirements by 2%. This means that a 10% increase in employee satisfaction also reduces staffing requirements by about 5 employees, creating a savings of about 350,000 euro per year. The cost savings I mentioned are great, but increased employee satisfaction also has a significant benefit to store revenues. Satisfied employees have an impact on the shopping experience of customers, which increases the amount they spend, the frequency they shop, and the loyalty they show the retail brand. Each 10% increase in employee satisfaction has been shown to result in about a 0.25% increase in total sales, increasing gross profit by 120,000 euros per year. Already, I've demonstrated that every 10% increase in employee satisfaction equates to over €500,000 per year in increased profit for this single pilot store. But what is the employee satisfaction now? We initiated a mandatory but anonymous employee survey at Carrefour TNL Nice and discovered a current employee satisfaction level of only 56%. This gives us a lot of room to improve, and almost 2.5 million euros in additional profit opportunities. For this reason, employee satisfaction was chosen as a key KPI in Project Carry Forward. After reviewing our linkage diagram, the two employee-related topics our team identified are motivation and shrinkage, otherwise known as employee theft. The team, joined by 3 employees from the TNL store itself, met to brainstorm experiments we could try at the store with the aim of improving employee satisfaction. Of course, certain brainstorming aids were also vital to maximize creative output. Individual ideas were then considered by the entire team, and everyone was encouraged to evaluate the impact, difficulty, or level of risk of the ideas on their area of expertise. The ideas with the best outcome were highlighted, and store staff were encouraged to propose. Carrefour management was encouraged to be positive and supportive to the hothouse process, even if they had to step outside their comfort zone. The first hothouse experiment selected was to offer bonuses to current employees who refer new hires for the TNL store. A reward of 1,500 euros for a successful referral was chosen as an appropriate incentive. We estimated that the bonus would not only increase employee satisfaction by 4%, but would also reduce employee turnover by 20% and reduce hiring costs. Store staff estimate that about 20% of new hires will come from referrals once the bonus is in place, costing 23,000 euros per year. But how will employees know about open positions eligible for a referral bonus? Sandrine, our joint team fish counter representative, brought up the point that no one looks at the notices posted on the bulletin board at work, but the vast majority of employees use the internet on their mobile phones as their primary information-finding tool. Her suggestion was a mobile-friendly website that employees can browse to find appropriate job openings. Our consulting team estimated 7,000 euros to develop a website for this purpose and train TNL's HR manager to use the site. The employee referral experiment was estimated to be worth about 73,000 euros total to the Nice TNL hypermart in hiring costs alone. More importantly, the program was estimated to increase employee satisfaction also by around 4%, valued at an additional 200,000 euros per year. Another KPI related to employee satisfaction is shrinkage, or the value of items stolen by employees as a percentage of total store revenue. Here, we see 2 employees caught on security camera stealing products. The Nice TNL general manager calculated shrinkage to be about 4% of store revenue, or 1.6 million euro per year. Martin, our 26-year-old cashier, was aware that most employee thefts seem to happen at certain times of year. For example, stationery was most often taken at the start of the school year, and luxury goods were most often disappearing just before Christmas. His idea was to greatly increase employee discounts on certain items during certain times of the year. Though the team estimated that this would reduce total annual revenue of the store by 1%, they also estimated a reduction in shrinkage of 2% revenue per year, adding 120,000 euros of additional profit each year. The team estimated that this program would also increase employee satisfaction another 4%, adding 200,000 euros. Together, these 2 simple changes were estimated to net around 600,000 euro per year in positive cash flow, increasing store profit by about 15%. If our estimates are verified and the changes are rolled out to all Carrefour France supermarkets and hypermarkets, these changes have the potential to greatly increase Carrefour's overall profitability. I need to change my voice now because it's going to be 6 months later. So it's 6 months later. How did the hot housing activities pan out? Though targeted employee discounts have reduced shrinkage to 2% of store revenue, some employees took advantage of the program. Limits had to be placed on how much one employee could purchase at a deep discount. Employee referral bonuses have been hampered by technical delays and cost overruns. The HR manager at TNL Nice was initially very hesitant to support the new policy, but with support and encouragement from the store manager, she has embraced the change and has become its most